Good evening. This is Gina Tadella. I live here in Poulsbo, Washington, and I'm going to show you 3 cards I created in class and show you how easy and simple they are. So, anyways, let me get this situated right here. So the first one I'll be showing is this one. And it's just using DSP, and you can use any DSP. And then the inside. And this can be a thank you card, it can be a birthday card, or it just can be just a note card. And then the second one will be this one. And the third one. It's all using the same DSP in the same package. This was DSP that was given away last year for a celebration, but it doesn't matter what DSP it is, just be sure to use coordinating cardstock and colors. Hello, B. Okay, so let's get started on using this stamp set tonight. This is a photopolymer stamp set. Hello, Linda. I had to scroll up so I could see who came on. So, anyways, I am using soft suede as the cardstock color for the base. This is 5.5 by 8.5. And then we're just going to go ahead and fold this over. Get my bone folder. Oh, this is the envelope. They put that over there. Oh, I didn't bring any. Where's the piece of what? Oh, it's this one. I don't know what I did with it. Anyways. And this paper doesn't matter which way you turn it. It's no right side up or wrong side. So, anyways. Well, thank you, Linda. I missed all of y'all as well. Anyways, so I got a lot of cleanup and stuff gone through, so I'm glad about that. My husband had surgery on his fistula where he gets dialysis. That was on the 19th. So, all went well this time around. Anyways, this is a 4 by 5 1/4. You can get 6 pieces out of a 12 by 12 sheet. Anyways, and then this is, you can use any of the colors. This can be used blush and bride, but I think this is it's not blush and bride, petal pink is what the color I use, petal pink. And this is 3 by 3.5. And then the basic white cardstock is 2.5 by 3. So let me show you how easy this is. And this is ribbon that has been retired, but you can use any ribbon. It's a, I think it's the pear pizzazz that we used to have. So anyway, so I use this with the gold twisted thread tied around it. So I'll show you that when it comes time to put it together. These are all done the same way, but you can lay them out however. And then of course I brought in some gems. You can use rhinestones, you can use pearls, but I had these. This was from when they had the peacock set, so I found them as I'm going through so much stuff, and they really coordinate great with this DSP. So first off, we're going to be using the Flirty Flamingo. And this is called Just a Note. So the Flirty Flamingo didn't stain the photopolymer stamp, any of the clear stamps. The Blackberry Bliss, which we'll be using last, is the one that truly stained it. So there is no way of keeping that from happening. You could coat it with the Versamark pad, but there's no guarantee. But that's what happens when those do that. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate that. So what we're going to do, and if you don't have a pad of paper, which I do, the piece of you can use a piece of chipboard or your silicone mat, or you or even just a tablet, because the photopolymer do not have a, what do you call it, rubber. It's just the rubber itself. It doesn't have a cushioning like these. See how this has a cushion, like your red rubber stamps? So you want to add something to give it support so you can get a firm stamping. So I'll go ahead and stamp over here. Perfect. And depending on where you're going to put your ribbon, it can be at the top or it can be at the bottom. So whichever one you decide, you put the image at the bottom if you're going to put the ribbon at the top. And I'll do several. So I'm doing 3 different cards, so you'll see what I'm talking about. And so there is the image. And of course I want to stamp the envelope. So that way it comes out very nice and crisp. Let's go ahead and close this up. My workstation here I have not yet cleaned, so it's still, I just have the stuff pushed to the side. This is the one area I haven't gotten to yet, but it'll be done this week. So, alright, I'll move the stamp out of the way. And then I use the multi-purpose Tombow glue when I put things together. But you can use our dry adhesive, or you can use any of the other things. So it's your choice for whatever type of adhesive you use. This is the most economical, and it's easy because it gives me time to get it situated. But it's been a while since I've used it, so it doesn't want to come out. So let's see if I can get this. Maybe it has I may have to poke it with my take your pick tool poker. Oh, I got it. It had a glue bugger. Yep, it was sticking to my fingers. Alright, this should help. Nope. Alright, so I'm going to take my take your pick tool, and I'm just going to get that area clean. That should do it. Oh, I should have checked this earlier. I don't have a straight pen, but I think I got it. Yep, got it. That was a problem. Of course, it's coming out so fast. I wasn't prepared for that. Oh my goodness. There we go. So I have decided to do class on Monday nights. And then every once in a while, I'll post ahead of time if I'm going to add another video. So I'm not going to do it 3 days a week like I have been. It was just too much. So I'm going to do it once a week, and it'll be what I've done in class. So there's that. Just want to give everybody a heads up on that. Then we're going to add some here. And every once in a while, when I want to show off something or samples that I've received from other people, I will do a separate video. I won't do it on the same one I'm demonstrating on. But I will post that ahead of time and let people know. And there's always going to be where it's saved, so y'all can watch it at any time. You don't have to come on live when I've got it live. You can watch it at your leisure. But I will be starting to add them to my YouTube channel. But I'm going to do it on Facebook first, because a lot of people don't have YouTube or have the means of getting on there, because you do have to have a Gmail. Okay, so once we've done this, I don't know what I did with my white piece of paper. Like I put on those. Maybe I just didn't have it cut. I don't know. These all have it, but I don't know what happened to the other one. Maybe I misplaced it. They'll have to cut one to put on there. So next, we're going to mount the ribbon. And you need tear tape, which I have in here. These are my leftovers from my paper pumpkins. So, B, I know Linda doesn't do it. Do you do the paper pumpkin? Okay, where is my ribbon? I just had it. Oh, here it is. She hasn't wrote me yet. So you're just going to tear off a small piece and mount it on here on your ribbon on either side. And you definitely want to burnish it. And then next we're going to take this nice fine thread. I have a lot of trouble viewing YouTube, so we'll probably only watch you on Facebook. I know that it'll be on Facebook first, B. Then I will transfer it to, I'm not going to transfer, it'll stay on Facebook. No on Paper Pumpkin. Okay. Well, I tell you what, the December one was very nice. And I'll probably show a video showing those cards and some of the other stuff that I have done of just showing samples. But this ribbon is so nice. I can't know if it was in the mini catalog or it just came out and it's in the online store. I bought 2 rolls of it in December. So let me go ahead and cut. I'll let you know the measurements in a second. But it doesn't matter what ribbon you have. Just, yeah, it looks so nice to tie a cord or string type. It could be embroidery thread. Okay? Around the ribbon. I'll show you what I mean. You can use whatever you have that coordinates with your paper. And just remember, when I show you all this, it doesn't mean that you have to have this item. It means use something that's similar to this so that way you can create with it. So let's see what the measurements are. That's what I wanted to give y'all. Okay, the green ribbon, which could be any color of ribbon, is 5 inches. And the string, cord, or it can be embroidery floss, whatever you have. A lot of y'all have been stamping for a while. That's 9 inches. And it's the same size for all of them. So first off, you want to turn it where the curved side is facing towards the paper or your table. Then you're going to take this string. I showed this today in West Bremerton to Sheila, Cindy, Kathy, and Pat. And they really love these cards. But I did these for class last Tuesday for my people that I see here. There we go. And then you're just going to tie that again. You tie it real tight. And you tie it again into a knot. And pull it tautly. Then you straighten it up. Then you tie your bow. I'm telling you, this makes it so beautiful. Okay, let me get this right. I'm talking and trying to tie a bow. But anyways, so there we go. Come on. I went to one of my directs, Julie Gardner's house, last Friday, and she did a calendar and stuff, so I definitely want to show that. So I'll probably do a video, don't know what day of the week, just show some samples of the Christmas cards I received from friends, which me who do cards didn't get to have a chance to send my Christmas cards out, so I'll be sending them a special package of homemade cards. They know who they are. I know I didn't get to do it, so it's like, because by the time I had, after his surgery and him back on his feet, it's like, it was too late, and I don't like saying Christmas cards is going to show up late, and I had them done, just didn't get them addressed. Okay, so there is that. See? Isn't that nice? And if you can't see it, let me do this so you can really see it, because that white just takes away from so much. Alright, so now we're going to mount this. So after we rubbed it, we pull this off the backing of the tear tape. And then we're going to lay this across the top and then press on that, and then look here and then press on that. See? And don't trim your threads till you get it mounted on. Now we're going to use dimensionals. Now if you didn't want to use dimensionals, you can use tear tape, but do it across the top and the bottom. But I'm going to use dimensionals. And I know I brought those in here. Here we go. Trying to use up all my old sheets. I had like 12 sheets of partially used dimensionals. I know, right? Oh my goodness. There we go. And then you can do this straight. You can tilt it, which I love it tilted. Kitty Wonkas. And see, the thread doesn't really need to trim. If it was hanging off the card, yes. But then we're going to add some beautiful rhinestones. Where's my sheet? And this has got a package of things. I'm going to use these, the light pink ones. This is when we had that beautiful colored foil. I know Bee remembers that. It had that beautiful peacock. There's one large. And then put it on the darkest color so that way they stand out. And I'm going to do what you call a triangle effect, where it highlights the picture. Okay. There's one there. And one over here. So see, isn't that beautiful? Just enough to give it the prettiness and everything. So there's card number 1. Now we're going to go to card number 2. Let me move this out of the way. And we're going to be using Gorgeous Grape. And let's see, the paper. See, this one has the white inlay. I don't know what happened to the other one. Must have lost it in my shuffle of bringing the stuff in here. This is Highland Heather. And then this beautiful paper. Patty was here last Tuesday night, and she goes, "Oh, that paper's so gorgeous." I said, "Well, I have an extra package. You're welcome to it." So I gave it to her, and she wanted to pay me for it. I said, "Nope, I got it free from Celebration last year. You're welcome to me. Welcome to it." And of course, it's also using the soft suede. I use soft suede on all 3 cards. And those of y'all know soft suede was one of the colors that retired. But even though the cardstock retires, the paper still goes with some of our DSP that comes out, or if you've got DSP that went with the colors. And this is a basic color that is great, that goes with a lot of things. So I'm still going to use up my retired cardstock. But if you wanted to use something similar to that, you could use the garden green. You could use the Highland Heather card base. You can do other things. But I'm just using up the cardstock. I'm not going to let it just go to waste or just give it away. Stuff costs too much money now. So like this one here, this is 4 by 5 1/4. This is for the inside. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and as I said earlier, you get 6 to a sheet. You cut it at 4 and 4, turn it 5 1/4. This is 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and glue those pieces on. Trying to get this glue down. There we go. I almost squeezed out too much. Now spread that. So, Bee and Linda, did y'all have a nice Christmas and New Year's? Did you have anybody come to visit you, or did y'all just relax and enjoy the quietness and relax it with family and friends in the area? We had it quiet here. Got to visit with my sons and their partners online video call. We do that every week on Saturday evenings. So, but they all stayed in the area. They didn't go anywhere either. And Taylor and Shayla, they had just come back from Spain. They had gone to Portugal. They were doing that during the Thanksgiving time frame. It was one of their trips on their bucket list. Yes, same here. Yes, and no visitors. Okay, B. Wonderful. Okay, so there's that, and there's the inside. Now we're ready for stamping. Let me close this glue up. So we're using Gorgeous Grape. And then this one here, I'm going to stamp it closer to the top and put the ribbon at the bottom. I just love this color. And as you ink up your stamp, remember to walk it around your pad to massage it. Don't do this and press down hard, because then you're going to get ink here, here, and here. That's a rude awakening. And 9 times out of 10, you'll get it on your fingers. You'll get it on your project. I'll close this up. Let that dry. Okay. Now I found my pieces. And while that's drying, we'll go ahead and prime our ribbon like you saw me do earlier. I'm trying to find the end. This tear tape is so easy just to pull and tear. And if you have trouble with it, you can always cut it with your scissors too. So, and so you see how it's curving up? You want to turn that over, so that way when you put it on your card, it will lay flat. And we'll go ahead and do this tying. And this time I'm going to move it down here to this edge, not the center. And then I'm going to pull it. Okay. See how tight I'm pulling that? And then you can tie a knot. There we go. Now I want to kind of straighten that up. Now I can tie my bow. Okay, so it's just one loop and wrap around. I still got glue on my fingers, so it's kind of catching the ribbon, which I don't like that when I have glue on my fingers. Okay. I'm just going to pull this. There we go. And there it is on the left side. Nice. Okay, so now let's glue this together. Okay. We're going to mount that. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and make sure we press good on the back of this. That helps loosen that paper up off of that tear tape. And then we're going to mount this. There we go. And I'm bringing it down to the bottom of the white paper. There we go. And we're going to turn this over and add some dimensionals. I'll be finished with this sheet. Hallelujah. Make sure your dimensionals do not hang over your outside edge of your piece. Done with that sheet. And remember, all you have to do is push your nail in the center, or poke the point of your scissors, or you take your pick tool. It'll peel those right off. Alrighty. So this one here, I'm just going to do this one straight and center it. Now we're going to add some purple stones to this one. I do with my jewels. There they are. We're going to use the purple ones this time. Oops. And I'm going to place those purple ones on the black so they really stand out. Still doing the triangle effect where it kind of focuses on the actual picture. So now you see how this one ribbon is hanging off. You want to trim that so that way it's not in the way of your saying or hanging off your card. So there is that one. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I'm going to do, when I do my card classes, it'll be Mondays every week. Every week. I've been doing them on Mondays, but I'm not going to do them regularly on a Wednesday or a Friday. Because I know Mary does hers on Wednesday. So on Fridays, I always have something coming up. Okay? So let's put this envelope. But then I will do a surprise one throughout the week of showing something. So that will always be recorded and placed in the save area where you can always go back and view it. And it'll be samples and stuff or a special technique. So here we're going to do the last one. Oh, y'all, I found my other piece of white. Right? Okay. So the measurements, as was earlier, 4 by 5 1/4, 4 by 5 1/4 of your choice of DSP, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 of your cardstock base, and it can be whatever color coordinates with your DSP. Now we'll glue these on. There we go. There's that. We'll move that out of the way so we can do our stamping. And of course, now we're going to be using Blackberry Bliss. I love this deep wine color. Is just so beautiful. You can see that with this. This is a 2 1/2 by 3 basic white. This is a 3 by 3 1/2 of the Blackberry Bliss. That's such a beautiful color. So we're going to go ahead and stamp this one. And then this one, I'm going to do it this way. So even though the paper all is cut the same way, there's 3 ways of creating the card. So I thought y'all would like that. So it's going to be stamped like this. And of course, we'll have to do the envelope. I have to make sure that my flap is at the top. There we go. And then close this pad. Move that out of the way. And then let that dry. Okay, what do I do with my green ribbon? I knocked it on the floor. Okay, oh, there it is. Alrighty. And remember, the ribbon is 5 inches and 9 inches on the thread, cord, or embroidery floss. 5 and 9. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put tear tape on the back side here. So the adhesives I used tonight was tear tape, Stampin' Dimensionals, and Tombow multi-purpose glue. Those are your basics adhesives. And people always ask me, what do you use the most? I say, well, those 3 are the ones I use the most. Okay, and so keep this in mind. So now I'm going to do this one back in the center, mainly because of the way this is going to be mounted. So I'm going to tie this in a knot. First I got to tie it once. And I want it to curl up. There we go. Pull it tight as you can. Then you're going to pull this one. And pull that real tight. And then we're going to do our bow once more. Bee's probably saying, oh, Gina, you know I hate that. But it's all right. This is so easy to tie. The girls even said that today. And then one of them I had to tie for because she has trouble with her hands. But that's understandable. But there's days that she can do it too. So it was just one of those days when the fingers just don't want to work. Okay, so then once I do this and I want the bow a little bit smaller, I hold the knot and pull the thread. So that way I can get it the way I want it. There we go. So you see what I'm talking about. See that? Isn't that pretty? Okay, now we're going to go ahead and glue this on. go. Now we're going to make sure we burnish this so I can peel that off. There we go. And this one, I'm going to go down like that, and there we go. I'm going to turn this one over and mount the dimensionals. Let me get me another sheet out. This is where I'm going to use the outsides. And I let my customers use the ones that are on the inside, so I like to try to use these outside ones. There we go, and then one in the center, like that. And just indent them. There we go. So just remember, whenever you're wanting to create a card and you have to go back to any of my videos, they will stay on Facebook. I won't remove them from there, but I am going to add them to YouTube so other people can find me. So that way they have it. And so we're going to just turn this one this way. And then I'm not going to trim that thread at all. And now we're going to add some jewels. And I want to use the, I think it's the bluish green right here. And put those on the green part. Okay. Get those. There's that one. No, I don't want to do it there. I'll put it there. Okay, and there is that one. So hope you've enjoyed these. I'll lay these out. I'll put the envelope underneath. That one. And there's that one. Aren't those gorgeous? Beautiful paper. But it doesn't matter which type of paper. All the paper, our DSP just makes it so much easier to create and make easy cards. Just got to know measurements and sizes, and that's where I come in and help you out. Thanks again for everybody watching, and I will be on next Monday. I'm still finishing cleaning up and going through stuff. So, thanks again. Thanks for your patience, and thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Take care. Have a wonderful Monday evening. Bye-bye.